What's going on, everyone? Today's episode of Vision Paradox TV is going to be a little different. We're actually interviewing one of our clients, Unity Empire. We filmed this interview back in end of November, December. It was around Christmas time, which is one of the reasons we're matching red shirts. It was during one of the promotions, and I think we mentioned Christmas a few times, so didn't want to confuse you guys with that. But anyways, today's episode, we talk about partnerships, thinking big, and building a community. So enjoy today's episode.
It really does start here, honestly. And if you're thinking this way, then your world around you is going to be this way. And if you all of a sudden get hit with a winning lottery ticket, but you're still thinking like this, all that money is going to disappear. And you're not.
What's going on, everyone? You're watching Emeroy TV, or you're watching Vision Paradox TV, or heck, you might even be watching this on Unity Era's channel. You are watching an interview segment. I don't know what this is. I really have no formal name for this. This is just something I've been wanting to do, as you've been seeing some previous interviews. I just want to interview cool people who are doing cool things and have them share their story. So the former segment was called Profiles and Drive, but I don't know what this is going to be right now. We'll just probably call it Profiles and Drive. Whatever. Anyways, right here, as you can tell, we're matching. This is Alisha, founder of an amazing company called Unity Empire, and I'm rocking some gear, and it's actually a segment. She'll explain a little bit more. A branch, Unity Era is a branch of their home company, right? Yeah, the home company of Unity Empire. So if you want to explain that a little bit before I butcher everything. So.
That's okay, sure. Well, Unity Empire is the corporation, and it's kind of the overall vision of everything. It's the parent company, you could say. And underneath this umbrella of Unity Empire, we have different branches, like Emeroy was talking about. And one of our branches is Unity Era, which is what we're sporting today. Our Unity Era shirts, Unity Era gear. Unity Era is our nonprofit branch. It's the branch that where we do campaigns for causes, donations to foundations. Like, for example, right now we're doing a holiday campaign for working with Toys for Tots organization. And these are our holiday shirts.
This is the reason why I got this shirt.
So we're wearing red and white.
Yeah.
So I'm basically working with the Toys for Tots Foundation and going around and collecting toys from people that people donate. And then once I gather all these toys, I'm going to be dropping them off to Toys for Tots, and they will be distributing the toys to families in need that maybe can't afford gifts for the holidays for their children. So the organization helps provide these gifts for their children.
I think at one point things were pretty bad for us. I think we might have participated in that.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, a lot of families do, and we're just trying to help the cause.
Yeah.
So basically I made contact with a lot of people, got them excited. Everyone is excited to donate a toy or a few toys, and I'm meeting up with them and giving them one of our holiday shirts as a thank you for donating a toy, because we really, really appreciate, everyone's participation and helping out this cause, and, just bringing more joy to the kids in our neighborhoods.
Yeah, and by the way, this interview session completely unplanned. So the original plan was just for us to exchange toys, but we had some gap time. I gotta go do a performance in Riverside in about an hour. She's gonna go pick up some more toys. So
this is off the cuff.
Yeah. So let's roll it back. So now they know a little bit more. But give us a little bit of the origin story of what inspired it, and even your first steps. So yeah.
Well, the whole company started out as Unity Era. Basically, it was a vision by my partner, Devin Estes. His vision for Unity Era was a really big vision, but it started out kind of small, kind of just grassroots. And he does music, and he wanted to create positive music to put out to the world to inspire people. And so he started with the music, and then he created the logo and started making clothing out of it. And people tended to like the logo and the clothing so much that he created a clothing line for the company as well. And so it started out as music and clothing and community outreach events, because really the mission behind it, even though there was music and clothing involved, was to help people that are in the communities, and just inspire them, do outreaches for them, help raise money for them. And so that's where it all started. And then when he and I met, I jumped on board with him because I had a very similar vision as far as wanting to do as much as I could to make a difference in this world in general. And so we kind of put our visions together, and now we created Unity Empire, which is the corporation that kind of encompasses everything we want to do. And we're slowly developing every branch as we go. Unity Era was already the most developed thing, so you're going to see the most about Unity Era for right now, and then we'll keep developing more as we go. We have different branches. I don't know if you want to hear about all that.
Actually, yeah, let's go into the branches. So we know about Unity Era, which is a nonprofit for causes, and then explain about the other things that you're growing as well within the company.
Okay. Well, for example, we have a real estate branch of our company, of Unity Empire, that we're developing. And what we're planning on doing with that is we're going to be acquiring real estate for multiple reasons. One of the reasons is going to be basically everything in our company is geared towards helping people. Some of our stuff is nonprofit, which would be Unity Era, but other is for-profit, but still with the mission of helping others. So part of our real estate branch is we're going to be developing group homes. Group homes are basically like we'll purchase homes and then we'll develop a program for each home depending on the type of group home that we're developing at the time. So different group homes include foster care, sober living, adults with disabilities, troubled teens, like women and children that are in need of help, people that have been victims of trafficking that need to transition back into normal life. And we develop programs and then place people in these homes that we have acquired. So it helps them, and we work with the counties and we work with other organizations in order to get these people placed in the homes. And so that is one thing we're doing with our real estate branch of our company. Another thing is we want to create an investment team because a lot of people want to invest in real estate, and the main thing we hear is, I don't have enough money. And it's just so unfortunate because real estate is an asset, which is a really good thing for people to acquire in their lifetimes. It's a way to create passive income. It's a way to have money work for you instead of you working for money. And it's a way to generate wealth. And so my business partner, Devin, who used to be heavily into real estate before the crash.
Oh, wow.
Got me interested in
I got to get him on this interview as well. Because you guys are like the two-headed dragon. I only have the one right now. So.
I'm the tiger, he's the dragon.
So I gotta get you both, but
we're like yin and yang. We really are.
I'd like to hear his story as well. But, go ahead.
I swear, we're like the yin and yang. He's the dragon, I'm the tiger, and we just together we balance each other out and we work together and we put our heads together and we've created this amazing vision. And so you definitely need to hear from him. So he used to be in real estate, and before the crash, he got me interested in doing this, and he's always wanted to create an investment team where we get like a team of 10 people to pool their money together, so that it's not like one person having to put a lot of money in. It's about 10 people having to put a smaller amount
to invest in a house,
invest in purchasing property.
Property,
or a house. This in particular will be out of state properties because those are less expensive, easier to purchase more of them. And there'll be rental properties, so it's like a monthly passive income that the team members that invest will be acquiring, and we're going to continue to kind of reinvest the same money
Yeah.
and keep purchasing more properties, and then everyone will get paid out monthly.
That's smart,
from these properties.
because you just reminded me of how movie studios used to work. Movie studios used to invest. One studio used to invest all their money into one movie, and if it flops or it doesn't, that's how
it's a big loss.
Yeah, it's a big loss. So which is why now you see a whole bunch of logos in the beginning of every movie, because now they're pooling money from different producers or different companies, which is why sometimes movies suck even more, because the people investing in it are all trying to put their input into, like, there's like 10 people trying to put their voice, but that I think that's a really cool idea.
With real estate, it's a little safer.
Yeah, I feel like it's because it's not exactly a creative vision, but it's like it's similar in the sense where it's like not one person's taking all the risk.
Yeah, exactly.
So like
Devin and I are going to be heading the project, but everyone that's involved is going to be benefiting.
Like, what kind of people are
people that are interested in real estate, but also that are not afraid to take a step forward and invest some of their money. So it's like they have to be brave enough to take a step to invest some of their money, and know that they're planting seeds and things will grow. It's not an immediate big return, but these seeds will grow. And for as long as we have these properties, this could be a lifetime of passive income for them.
Yeah.
So it has to be people that can think in those terms and be okay with doing something like that. It's just a way to show another form of unity, because our company is also geared towards bringing people together to do things. So Unity Era, we want to bring people together for the causes. Yeah. Like how we did the breast cancer awareness cause. Yeah. We brought dancers together for that. Yeah. And we brought, film people, and we all worked together to put that out. And so the real estate investment team is it's a form of bringing people together and working together to create. That's cool.
Yeah. Is that, I'm just getting more curious about that. How is that? Do people going into that, do they need to have experience in real estate?
No, not at all. No, just an interest, and just be mentally geared towards wanting to do it. Yeah, exactly. And then we're going to be teaching them, because Devin and I have been researching and studying over the last year to develop this. And so we'll be actually giving them education on it at the same time.
Now switching directions, going back, what were your, because now it sounds like you're branching off to a whole bunch of other things. What were your first steps? How did you figure that out? Because a lot of people are like, I want to do this. I want to create my own group as well. I want to create my own clothing line. I was like, but the thing is, they don't know where to start. And everyone has their own journey and their own beginning, but what were your first steps?
Oh my goodness. I think I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. And I think my first step was just daydreaming about it. I had visions all the time of what I wanted to do. So it's kind of like taking what you think about and what you feel in your heart the most and what you're passionate about. And, I think the first thing I did, partnering up with Devin was very helpful, because he kind of inspired me to take a step outside of the comfort zone I was in. But you have to be willing to take a step outside of your comfort zone. If you're in a 9-to-5 job and you want to do your own business, you have to be willing to take a risk. And at a certain point, I made that transition and I took that risk, and it has widely paid off for me, because this is something I'm so passionate about, that I'm driven to do. And I've been successful, along the way, just because of that. So, networking with people that are kind of in the same area of interest will help bring connections into your life that can aid you in your journey to doing what you want to do. Yeah. If you want to create a company, then you need to research how to develop an entity. So it really just depends on what you want to do. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of feel like there's so many different answers to that question.
There can be. I was just curious, how you approached it, because.
But how I approached it, what I did is I started working with Devin. We started brainstorming with each other on what we wanted to do, and started kind of putting things into action. We created our entity first, just through LegalZoom, really.
Oh, LegalZoom.
Oh, LegalZoom. Giving a little shout out.
They're great. So.
Yeah, it works. So we created our entity. We had him, myself, and another partner. We just started planning the different things we wanted to do, like the community events and the clothing. We went out to LA, to get our clothing done, picking it out, getting it screen printed, because the fashion district is like a great place to do that.
Yeah.
He has a music studio, so we would get into the studio and we'd make music, and we'd get CDs printed from that, and we would promote it to people by going to these different events, and then just by word of mouth and social media.
Oh, wow.
And it slowly grew to the point, and we would also promote it to our friends and family. Those are like the
original
core supporters, are your friends and your family. But then it spread out from there. People told people, and people told people. Before we knew it, we found that people were coming to us that we knew saying, I wore your clothing like out and about, and someone recognized it, like somewhere way far away. They recognized it. And that was just so cool to hear. And or someone would say, I saw somebody else wearing your hat. I saw someone else wearing your shirt at the mall. Or
that's tight.
At Universal Studios, somebody approached me and saw my shirt and my hat, and it had the Unity Era logo on it, and they're like, I know that's Unity Era. And so just, it's I don't know, I guess I kind of dove into the deep end on that description.
That's fine. I can definitely see how excited you got about it. What were some of the initial challenges? Aside, those are first steps. Yeah. What were some of the early challenges you faced that you feel like?
I mean, one reason we want to help people with figuring out what they want to do in their lives is because a lot of people tend to get stuck in like a 9-to-5 job that they're not happy with.
Yeah.
And they have this like dream of doing something else, but they need to make ends meet. They need to bring in income to live, and that's something I'm so passionate about, because I grew up, like I said, with this entrepreneurial spirit, and I was naive at first. I had no idea how to really start carrying out my dream, and so I had to make income. I worked my jobs as like a server and an administrative assistant and all kinds of different things. Kind of bounced around a lot because I was just like, it was not what I was made for,
Yeah.
And so I was like, there's so much I want to do, but I have to make money, I have to live. And I have a daughter to support, so I was like in mommy mode, and
you got it.
You have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
So it took time, but one of our missions is to help people that have a vision and a dream that want to do things, help them figure out how to do it and be supportive of it, And when our company really grows, we even want to angel invest in people's dreams, where, we take people that have like a dream and we invest into them and help them grow it. So that was a challenge, was just having to, find the means to live. just to provide for my.
Wow. Yeah. There's the survival aspect, and then you also want to do the whole thriving part as well, but there's a very high cost of entry just to do it, especially as a parent. Because it's not just like, if you're a college kid or you're
kind of on your own,
or if you're not, if you're on your own, you don't have someone depending on you to survive. I think it's like, I don't know, the mentality is different, like, because then if you fuck up as a single person, like,
you're only messing your own life up. You're not messing up the life of your child.
And you can always go back. And even then for both ends, that's what I had to do for a while. For me, I had to move back in with my mom. Just to be able to support, so not only like to help take care of my son, but also have get some income in to help support the business. So it's like I think that's what can be paralyzing for people is like if you mess up, like I'm not gonna look as good. People are so caught up in the image, like I'm like if I mess up on my business, or if it fails, like I'm gonna be a failure in front of people, and I'm not gonna have the nice home, the nice car. But the thing is, like, if that's not the game you're playing, so why are you acting like? Why are you so concerned about the opinion of those other people? Because that's not. They're playing a different game. They're playing the 9 to 5 game. The game we're playing is different and requires a lot of sucky things in the beginning.
It does.
Because it's not glamorous. It's a lot of.
It's a sacrifice.
Figuring things out.
Yeah.
Because a regular job, a boss tells us what to do.
They tell you what to do. Mm-hmm.
And us, we're figuring shit out.
Yeah.
And hoping to God it fucking brings it. And hoping to God it works.
Exactly. Yeah, and we have to be self-motivated. That's one thing. You have to be self-motivated for sure, because you're the one that's behind the wheel driving.
Yeah. Like, how did you, like, you said you always had the self-motivation, but when you transition, like, I'm assuming you're working from home as well, right? Or you guys have your own, like, space to work at?
Well, that's the thing, is we're still pretty grassroots, although things are developing really, really greatly right now. We're still working from home. On this.
That's like the dream for a lot of people.
I'm happy to work from home.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually we want to have a facility for all of our stuff, but we're just doing it wherever we can.
I'm like for me, because I know VP, like I for like I would be great to have an office for all of us. But like for me personally, I want to have the flexibility to work from everywhere. Because like earlier this summer I was able to work at New Jersey or in the Philippines, and then while still the team being able to do what they need to do. So I don't know if that makes sense.
That's really cool.
But for going back to working from home, like working from home, we have a different mentality because we're home.
Yeah.
Like, because when I was first going, I was like, fuck, I gotta like go to the computer, not get distracted by, to hang out with my son or to, do something else. Because when I'm in daddy mode, I just want to hang out.
Yeah.
So like and then creating that distinction. How was that for you? Like,
a little bit challenging, only because home is so comfortable, and I am a creature of comfort. So, I do. Yeah, you have to literally give yourself a schedule and stick with it, and kind of pretend that when you're sitting at your computer that you're not at home. I literally feel like I'm in this like different zone when I'm sitting at my computer. It's like I'm ignoring everything else around me. I love being able to work from home, though. It's totally a blessing. It's just
saves gas.
Yeah, it saves gas, and you can
biggest thing in LA.
You can get up and take a break when you need to and want to, and there's flexibility with it. But staying disciplined and keeping on your schedule and being organized and everything, like that's a learning process. That was a learning process for me.
I think, that was definitely a learning process.
Yeah. But I went through everything you went through. I mean, I had to move back with my parents for a while, my mom, my dad, just because I was transitioning and I was getting geared into a different gear, and sometimes that takes like just going back to square one and shifting gears and then building out from there.
It requires a lot of fucking humility.
I can tell you about our specific challenge that we went through. I won't name any names, but we had a partner who started out with the company Unity Era from the get-go, from the beginning of it. And she was very driven and had a hustle behind her and seemingly wanted to do positive things. And just along the way, created a lot of personal conflict and also just did some things that were not ethical within the company, and it took a lot away from the progress of the company. And it was unfortunate because we really saw that we could have been a good team together. We would have been like a great dynamic trio. But unfortunately that happens sometimes, and we had to sever ties with her, and um, again, we wish her the best in her own journey, but as a team member with us, it didn't work out. So, it was a hard lesson to learn. She was with the company for a while and was pretty tied in, and so getting untied, unraveled is pretty hard.
That's a process right there.
Yeah.
Especially if you're someone who was there from the beginning.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure.
I mean, and she felt the blow because she felt invested in the company, and it was kind of a something that she was tied to.
Yeah.
And so she didn't want to be separated from it, but when you do certain things, you just have to realize when you do certain things there are consequences, and like I said, nobody should have to be business partners with another person they don't trust. If they don't trust them, or the chemistry is really not right for whatever reason, then you should be able to just kind of go on your own separate way.
In regards to how you guys are kind of recovering from that, I guess.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing right now to deal with the aftermath of letting go of a partner and moving forward? Are you guys looking for another partner, or are you guys looking to take on the responsibilities she's done and divvy it up between the both of you? Or
for now, we don't have a third partner yet, and so it's up to us to kind of take over the responsibilities that she had, including social media. She was handling the social media accounts, and she was also doing the community events. So we're currently in search. Well, obviously we're working with Vision Paradox now. Vision Paradox is really cool. They have been awesome, and you guys are helping us get a handle on this social media thing, because that's not my strength by any means. But I think it's actually turned out for the best, because I feel like we're on a new page with it, and it's actually even better. Our content's going to be better. Our followers are going to be better. The overall image is going to be better than it was. So although it was a hard thing for us to lose that support from her, we turned it into a positive, and we're growing from it even more now. So that's pretty cool. But we're also looking for someone to do community events, because she would go set up tables at community events, and that's like a big undertaking.
What do you mean by community events? Is because the way I had interpreted it is she sets up I don't know, a random event at a park, or a workshop.
Yeah.
But based off how you explained it, I think there's she sets up a booth at some place.
Yeah, it's basically it's mostly like promotions. So getting out into the community and showing people what we're doing. There are all kinds of community events. There are music-related events. There are cause-related events. Some of the ones that she was at were Project for Hope, which is in LA. There are other events that are held in LA for kind of supporting people that are either impoverished or homeless or victims of gang violence. And she was, those are some of the more heavier cause type related events. There are other ones that are a little more lighthearted that are mostly just for performing arts, music artists showcasing their music. And it's all positive music, whether it's inspirational or just creating awareness, just any kind of music that's somehow helps people. It's uplifting, it's inspiring, it creates awareness. So a lot of events were like that, because part of our company is music based. So she would be at events like that, and she would set up a table with our clothing, with our marketing items, like our business cards, and just everything, and just talk to people.
Dang.
Yeah. And a lot of the clothing would just be given out. Sometimes we would sell it, but other times we would just give it out to people. And the Unity era is more based on giving rather than making a profit. So a lot of our stuff we just would give to people. A lot of our clothing and our hats and stuff we just give to the community. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm wearing the sweats.
He's got the sweats on.
So that's the one thing I'm wondering is, you guys are a nonprofit. You guys essentially are giving a lot away, or do you guys yourselves earn any profit? How do you guys get paid for yourselves?
Well, right now, Devin and I both actually, he works
Yeah.
a full-time job.
Yeah.
And I have my own side business doing small business development, which really helps in what I'm doing with Unity Era and Unity Empire, because I have a lot of skills with business development.
Oh.
So I do everything I know how to do to make income, I do for our company.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I have my own little small business called Indigo Life Enterprises, where I do small business development for other small companies that are just starting out, entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And that's how I make my income right now.
Yeah.
With Unity Empire, we're building our profit side of the company as well to help funnel money into our nonprofit side, to support the nonprofit.
So then I respect that, because like the money you're making immediately comes back in.
Yeah.
Goes back into the business.
Exactly.
And some people, like, it exists out there that there are people who pose an altruistic kind of version of themselves, that they're trying to do good, but in reality that
they're just keeping all the money.
They're keeping the money, or even like, only giving small portions of the price. Yeah. That's why it's such a, like, for me, I have like some skepticism on certain nonprofits I donate to, and I don't put it out there that I donate to charities, because I hate saying, oh, I paid for someone's Starbucks today. Oh, I gave a homeless man something. If you have the ability to give.
Yeah.
You don't need the validation of social media or anything about it. So, and that's why, and then because I know like for the longest time when I was trying to figure out which charity I wanted to start giving, I took a while to figure out, like, because I want to know
where your money's going,
where it actually goes.
And that's one thing that we are really, really passionate about, is the same thing you just said. In fact, any organization we partner with or give to, we make sure we know that they're really making a difference. But our company, and specifically as well, we want to make real change in people's life. Like, we want to create real change. We don't just want to put out fluff. Like, we want to actually, we're developing the profit side of our company so that we can make significant changes in people's lives, whether it's providing jobs for people, even, or providing the things they need to create lifestyle changes and get out of hard situations, and so it unfortunately takes money to do that. So we are creating that side of our company, but it's going to be funneled right back into making the difference with our nonprofit stuff. All
right, say a lot more money does start rolling in, for the, and especially with how people's relationship with money, it's like a huge tempting thing. So like, how do you stay grounded with the vision and not get corrupted with the money flowing in? This is like say 5-10 years into the future. You guys are rolling in like with what you're doing, helping people. But how do you stay grounded in it?
That's a really great question. And I think a lot of it just starts with, this is what the reason we're even developing this company is because it's what's in our heart to do. And so, I don't think we'll ever stray from our vision, because it's really in our hearts to help people, even if we do make a lot of money. It's like our passion in life to grow this vision. And so that helps. But keeping good people around you is really good. I mean, we hold each other accountable, and we on a daily basis, Devin and I hold each other accountable, and we inspire each other, and that's, keeping good people around you is always good. But then also just continuing to grow ourselves as people. Like, we can't really help other people grow if we're not growing ourselves. And even just by doing that, preach, even just by doing that, that's going to keep us grounded, you know, as we continue to make money. You have to grow with your money. Like you as a person have to grow.
I love that.
Yeah.
You got to grow with your money.
Yes. I mean, you hear about people winning the lottery and losing all of it within like a few years.
That's true.
It's because they themselves have not grown to that. They haven't grown along with it.
I love how you're putting that.
Yeah. So, I mean, we do a lot to grow. I mean, we do a lot of self-reflecting. We read books. We get around good people. We meditate. we do healthy things. And anything you can possibly think of that can grow you as a person, your spirit, your body, your mind, your soul, do it. And as you grow and your money grows, you'll stay grounded.
Yeah, I think that's when people forget. They forget that everything starts with them.
Yeah.
Like, and people always want the external. I want this. I want more money. But if your being is a representative, like the way I'm thinking, like if it doesn't have the ability, your being doesn't have the ability to hold the mental capacity, emotional capacity, it's not going to be able to handle the pressures of what does come with success or with the money. Yeah. People are in love with the idea of what it does for them, but they forget about the other shit that comes with it.
Yeah.
So that
is the perfect way to say it, is the capacity. Like when you grow your own capacity in all those areas you just mentioned, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, then you're like a fortress. You can handle everything that comes your way with this growth that happens.
I love how you just said fortress, because the way I was just thinking about it, if your mental capacity is the capacity of a shack, if some challenges come in, you're gonna break right off the bat. But if you're a fortress, you can take on more, and you'll be able to, hold in a lot more. So I think that was like the perfect way of putting it.
I have to share something with you that's sort of a life example of mine, and how you were asking me earlier my first steps, and I didn't really think about it at the time, but you just sparked my thought. Some of my friends who got really into personal growth, they inspired me to read. There are books out there that you read that literally develop your mental capacity and more even. And I started reading those books, and from there I literally found myself like skyrocketing out of nowhere.
What was the book that changed your life?
The Magic of Thinking Big.
Oh my God, I gotta get that's on my list.
Read that book. Whoever you are, like it's gonna open your mind to thinking in a way that literally produces all these things, like results in your life, because it really does start here, honestly. And if you're thinking this way, then your world around you is going to be this way. And if you all of a sudden get hit with a winning lottery ticket, but you're still thinking like this, all that money is going to disappear. Yeah. And you're not going to be able to handle it. So like just expanding like that, The Magic of Thinking Big. Definitely read that. Another book that I haven't read but I've heard is really good is The Compound Effect.
Oh, yeah. I read that one too. I've never heard that one.
Yeah.
The one.
Well, Think and Grow. Think and
Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich, like that whole series, the Rich Dad Poor Dad series.
There's a series? I've only read the one book.
Yeah, the first book I ever read that my friends recommended me was it's called Business of the 21st Century, and it's part of the Rich Dad Poor Dad series. Oh, there's more than one of the books from that author.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that I think that was the first book that started getting me to think about money differently.
Yeah, you think about things. It really does help you think about money and business differently, and that was my first book I read. But The Magic of Thinking Big really also like opened my capacity. It built my capacity.
I think that was the fact that you're mentioning reading is like reminds me of like what's his name? Ty Lopez. He says leaders are readers.
Yes.
So it's like, because for us, we never assume that like we know everything because there's so much more out there to know. And
you'll be learning forever. Forever and ever.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I have I have a huge reading list, but the thing is, you're also in the middle of doing. So it's like making time to read is like it's one thing that it's easy to forget, but it's also like it's something we have to also have set time for.
Yeah, start 15 minutes a day. Start with 15 minutes a day if you can, whether it's in the morning or at night before you go to bed. And then you'll find yourself like engulfed in a book, and you'll do far more than 15 minutes at a time, because that's what I did. It just gets so interesting.
Yeah.
But even just 15 minutes a day is a good way to get through your reading in a busy life.
I love that. I love that very practical piece of advice, because it's like, because people think like I got to read a book a day because he says that, Ty Lopez says that, or people like, oh, I got to spend 2 hours, but it's like
you could, but realistically,
yeah. I like that you brought up low cost of that low cost of entry. It's short commitment, very doable. Everyone can put in 15 minutes. If you're taking a dump, if you are like there's that whole study of men spend like a whole bunch of time in the bathroom alone, because that's honestly like where they get the most alone time,
thinking time.
Yeah, it's like, or even if you're in line at a McDonald's or whatever, if you can find that quick 15 minutes, I mean, take advantage of it.
Do it, and it's really,
because then it adds up. 15 minutes a day,
and that's exactly what the compound effect is about. Which like I said, I started reading the book, but haven't gotten through it all the way. But it's about being consistent, even if you're doing little bits of something, but you're doing it every day. It compounds. It adds up to the point where you're going to get this huge explosion at the end all of a sudden. And it's the same way with wealth. It's the same way with reading, with anything.
That whole idea of the compounding effect. I just love that idea, because it preaches, or it more focuses on being consistent, like what you said, and how it adds up every single day. Like this podcast I was listening to, School of Greatness, when Kobe Bryant was on it, he was terrible, I think, at the age of 10. By age 14, he was an All-American, and considering in the long scheme of life, that's pretty fast. Yeah. And all he said was do it every single day. It's just basic math. Just be consistent, because it builds up to something. Yeah. And
again, I'm sort of still in the beginning of the book, so I don't know everything there is to know, but just in general, the compound effect, it basically, as you do something consistently every day, or every day, you may not see results at first. You may not see results for a while, and that typically discourages people. But do not let that discourage you, because behind the scenes, like literally scientifically, your efforts are adding up every single day and doubling up on each other every day, to the point where all of a sudden you're going to see the results in a big way. And the book gives a lot of examples about wealth, and I'll let you read it, but because I can't do it, like say it verbatim, but there's one story about, or one example about, like how a penny can add up over time. And it just, I wish I could really display the example better, but all of a sudden you'll realize you're a millionaire, even just by adding like small bits up and having them double on each other over time. And so it works as literally like a science. So everything you do, even if you're just doing a little bit every day, eventually those results will kind of explode, and you'll see them. Kind of like how Kobe Bryant all of a sudden was an All-American after 4 years. Yeah, so it's really like a law or a science to it. Yeah,
I think that's, I mean, again, that preaches to showing up every day to do the work, because I think a lot of people want to blow up once in a while, or chill, blow up once in a while, so they focus on the intensity. Like people going to the gym, they work out, they kill themselves, and then they're out for an entire 2 weeks, because their muscles are put into a shock. Their body's not conditioned for it. Yeah. And then they go intense again, and then they're just breaking down their nervous system. Yeah, yeah. But the consistency of showing up every day is probably the least sexiest thing you'll do, but it's also going to be the one that leads up to the most payoff. Yeah. Because it's
absolutely,
you're literally laying down a brick every single day of work, of your body of work. Eventually you'll build the fortress, you'll see the house, you'll have the tallest building, depending on what blueprint you have set for yourself.
It's like a video going viral. It doesn't necessarily go viral overnight, but if you're continuously promoting it, or people are continuously watching it after a certain period of time, all of a sudden you hear about a video exploding. Yeah. But really, it took time for it to happen. It just the result of it seemed like intense all of a sudden. You know, like it just happened like out of nowhere. And that's how the compound effect works. You know, like you build momentum slowly, and then all of a sudden you snowball. And
I think that's the part most people want to celebrate before they even make it.
Well, it's part of owning your own business, as you know. Like you have to do the non-sexy stuff. You have to show up every day. You have to put in your work every day. And even if you don't see results right away, eventually you're going to see them, and it'll pay off.
I think that's the thing. Like when it comes to starting your business, is like you have this vision, you see what's possible, but what's in front of you is like opposite.
You have to create the foundation first, and then keep building upon it. You have to start at that square one and build the building blocks.
So what's UE currently up to, like right now? Like I know we talked briefly on this. So what else? But what else are you guys doing? Like what's since it's December as we're filming this, what's some plans you guys might have for 2019?
2019, I believe, is going to be a big year. We have been really focusing on, like I said, how you have to build your foundation first. This past year or so has been really focused on that. And so we've been doing some things, some building, but we've mainly been just setting our foundation correct. And that way, when we do build upon it and build momentum, our foundation is sound and solid, and it doesn't come crumbling down. You know, you have to build a solid foundation. So that's what we've been focusing on. But this coming year, we're going to start ramping things up more because our foundation is pretty well set. And so we're going to start scaling. Christmas is here. We're doing our Toys for Tots campaign. We will start working with more organizations this next year. We're going to select like a handful of organizations to work with throughout the year for the campaigns for causes. Stay tuned for that to know which ones we're going to do. We are developing the real estate investment team come February. So that's when we're going to launch it. Later in 2019, we'll be developing our first group home.
Oh, wow.
I believe it's going to be an Adults for Disabilities group home. We have a house already for it, but we need to develop the program.
Wow.
Yes. So
that's freaking cool. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That one photo I saw. Wow, that was like your most liked photo. That's
so cool. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, the house in Victorville. We've got a house in Victorville that we planned on doing a group home with, but it takes time to develop it. So we gave ourselves a year to develop it. So later this year is when we're going to launch it. We have a wonderful family living there right now. They're amazing. And one of the ladies that's living there wants to she wants to help us develop this group home. Her sister is an adult with disability, and she takes care of her sister already. And so she's going to be like basically the person that manages the group home for us.
Wow.
So within this year, we'll develop it and launch it.
That's crazy.
In the fall.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's another thing we're up to. A couple more things. I just started working with someone who works for Tilly's Corporate. And for our clothing line, I always imagined our clothing line being in shops that were like geared towards skating and surfing, and
got it.
Just because it just has that look and feel to
it,
you know. And I figured that's a good place for us to start as far as being in stores and getting more exposure and people like knowing the brand more for the clothing line. So she is going to be working with me on developing like a business plan for that and presenting it to Tilly's Corporate and to other surf and skate shops.
That's tight.
So that's a big thing we're working on this year.
Yeah.
And she has somebody that's an actual surfer that wants to be sponsored by us. And he surfs in Hawaii. And so we already have Unity Era Hawaii, which is like, we have a following out in Hawaii, just to brief you on it, of great people out there that love the movement, and they wear the clothing. We send them clothing. They wear it, they take pictures, they take videos, and they send it to us. And so we have this surfer that she knows out in Hawaii who wants us to sponsor them. So that'll be kind of a fun
That's cool.
thing to do, you know, to go along with being in the surf and skate shops. So that's a big thing. Do you want to expand on that at all? Or because there's one more thing I was going to talk about.
I mean, I'm just going to let you keep going.
All right.
You have the floor right now. I mean, I'm just like, because I only have a smidget of an idea of what's going on. You're like blowing my mind right now with what's happening. So keep going.
Yay. So a big part of our company, which you know, is we support the arts. Like I grew up as a dancer. I grew up as a singer, performer. I love the arts. And Devin is a producer for music. Mm. He loves music. So we want to support the arts in a bigger way. Mm. On a smaller scale, we're just starting by doing some social media challenges and campaigns. Yeah. One of them being Dance for UE, where dancers we'll send them a shirt and they do their solo dance wherever they choose to do it. And they send it in to us and we feature it on social media. And we want to create a challenge out of it just to kind of inspire people more. And, whoever wins the challenge, we'll give them some cool gear. Plus they'll have a chance to like feature in our next dance project video that we do, dance commercial or whatever it is we do. So we're starting to do things like that. Plus for music artists, we are featuring interviews with music artists and we're calling it Behind the Song because we have these artists we work with that do songs for, with our organization that are like positive, inspirational, or just about, very moving things. And we're featuring interviews on them about their songs, and we're calling it Behind the Song. So on a smaller scale, we're already supporting the arts through our social media and through the things that we do, like our campaigns. For example, our breast cancer awareness campaign, we made it to where we had featured all these dancers to support dance. Yeah. And so we're already doing stuff like that. But one thing I'm going to be working on developing in the next year is a arts festival. And it's going to be something where we work with different people that are already involved in the arts and bring them all together kind of in one venue where they can all showcase what they do. Yeah. So we want dancers doing dance performances. We want music artists doing music performances. We're going to showcase the clothing by doing like a fashion show segment or part of it. We're going to have people that are artists like that paint and draw and do photography. We're going to let them showcase their work by having their own little gallery set up or table set up. We're going to have people that do culinary arts that we know. That actually I'll
be there.
Yes.
I'll be eating everything. Yes.
We want to have them have their own setup. Yeah, to where they can even bring samples of the stuff that they make, And, a lot of them actually make really good foods that are healthier. So we're going to be promoting healthier lifestyle, but still it tastes good. Yeah,
I'm all for that.
Me too. I have people that are very close to me that are vegans, but they also have their own like company where they meal prep for people that have food sensitivities. So they have to like come up with meal plans for people that are healthy, but that still taste good, you know? And so they actually, I want to showcase their stuff at the events as well, at the, cause it's like an art, if you look
especially when they have to plate it.
Yeah.
Oh, when some things are so beautifully plated.
Yes.
Like, do I even eat this?
I know.
It just makes sense. Like it makes sense to like that you want to take a photo.
Yeah.
Because especially if it's beautifully plated.
But it's great to incorporate that too, because we're all about wanting to help people. So we want to help people learn how to live healthier lifestyles. They're going to be healthier. They're going to live longer. It's part of our mission. So, we really don't exclude anything as far as how can we help people? How can we help this world?
I mean, because you guys are trying to help a lot of people. How do you guys help yourselves in developing this stuff?
You mean how do we practice these things ourselves?
No, you guys are helping people, but how do you guys receive help?
That is something we're working on. we're kind of networking with a lot of people to see if to get their involvement. Yeah. And right now it's more on a volunteer basis. Yeah. Eventually we'll be able to actually provide incomes for people. But for now, we're really just trying to rally people up for different things and get their support. on a volunteer basis, because obviously it takes a team, it takes unity, to really create things. And even though Devin and I are spearheading all of this, we just reach out to people to see what they want to be involved in, and also work with people that already have their own companies. Like, for example, this arts festival we're going to do, we're going to reach out to everybody we know that has something they already do, and just say, come be a part of this, showcase what you do. And it's like, that's kind of how we create that team effort, is supporting what people already do.
Yeah.
You could be there filming,
I have my team.
Yeah. The photographers we're bringing can be there taking pictures and also networking with others. So it's kind of like everyone benefits from it. Yeah. And we get the help we need, and everyone benefits.
That's dope.
Yeah. So that arts festival, we're going to be, it'll take probably a year to develop. But so stay tuned for that.
I love how you're patient about it. Some people are like, it's going to happen in 3 months, 6 months.
Oh no.
I love how you're aware that this is a process.
Yeah.
Especially with a lot you're taking on. It's like it makes sense to see what happens, to see what you can build within that time.
Yeah. Well, with the experiences that I've had, I've learned how the timelines realistically work.
which I also appreciate as you as a client for VP, because I have pretty ridiculous, we've worked with some ridiculously impatient clients, which is why we're not working with them anymore. But it's when some people just don't understand the expectations.
Yeah. Things take time.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into it too much.
Yeah.
But you can tell, as you can tell, there's some frustration that I go with it. This is the process needs to be respected, and unless you want a certain thing to grow fast, you better have a lot of money to make it grow fast.
Exactly. Yeah. So. Well, and I've also learned that sometimes when things grow too fast, they also die fast.
That's true.
So
that's easy come, easy go.
Yeah, that's actually a saying that I've really continued to remind myself of, is allow things to grow in their natural process, because they'll stay around much longer. They'll build more solidly. I mean, if you think of it, human beings, we start as babies, and it takes us at least 18 to 20 years to grow into full maturity. Yeah. But we live until we're 100 years old, or we can, but certain things that grow a lot faster, whether it be plants or animals or whatever, they don't have as long of a lifespan. Yeah. And so it's literally like a law. And if you are patient and you just let things happen in their process, you keep putting your one foot in front of the other, but allow it to grow the way it does naturally, it's going to be way more solid. So yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. Is I want this festival to be a success, and I want it to be a solid thing. If I were to try to throw it together in 3 months, it would probably be a disaster.
There are some YouTubers, I'm not going to mention them because people watching this might know who I'm talking about. They had very super, 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 super ambitious goals, and I think they might have executed it well. They could have executed it well, given the time frame they wanted, but I think there was way too. But considering that when you try to rush a process, you overlook things. Yes, which is what I think would happen to them. Yeah, and which is why when you take the time to do things right. One of my current favorite sayings right now is "make haste slowly." Yeah, you make progress faster when you take time to do the right things. Yeah. In its, I guess, natural order. Yeah, and the longer things take to grow, the more complex they are, but the stronger they are. So that's exactly the gaps and the holes are not going to be there because you've filled everything in. You've paid attention to every detail along the way. Yeah. And I think so. The structure is more sound. It won't break down as easily. Oh yeah. I think that's. That's what happened with my dance crew. I wanted us to blow up in 3 years. It took almost a decade. Yeah. Yeah, but now because it took a while, all the teams that I was kind of jealous of growing up, they're good. They're getting a lot of attention. Mm-hmm. Oh, they're my rivals, so to speak. Me being super competitive and making my team comes out on top back then. Mm-hmm. I saw rivals and people who were blowing up. now they're not here.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot more dance teams now, but our team is probably one of the more well-known LA teams.
Mm-hmm.
So because we didn't try to rush everything, and it was really just a growing process.
Yeah.
So.
That's how Devin and I think of this company. Unity Empire is a massive, massive vision that we have, and we know it's going to be lifelong. It's going to be
I love that.
It's going to be a lifelong journey of growth as it grows and develops, and we exercise our patience every day.
I think that's a good thing, good way of like viewing it as a lifelong thing instead of like 5 years. It's my 5-year plan.
Yeah.
Like, it's like because when you because then that puts things into perspective, and then patience.
It helps us keep our patience. Yeah.
All right.
So
I'm gonna try to close it out
Sure.
right now. So like, where can people stalk you guys online?
Stalk us? Ooh, please stalk us. We would love it. You can come to www.unityempire.com. Just unityempire.com. That's where we have our main website. It'll be branching off into a more developed version of itself with as our branches grow. But for now, that's like the main hub. You can come to and see a little bit of everything that we're doing, whether it's the clothing, the campaigns, or the real estate, etc. And as our different branches grow, you'll see more. Yeah. So unityempire.com.
Dope. And everything will be linked down in the subscription down below. The subscription description. Can't speak right now. Description down below. Their website, their social handles, everything, so you can connect with them. And I think is there one last thing you want to share with the audience?
Oh gosh, just whatever it is that you feel passionate about in your heart, take a step out of your comfort zone and take that risk and do it. I think the world will be a better place if we all did what we wanted to do and felt moved to do.
All right.
There's your bit of inspiration for the day.
So that's it. So if you guys like this segment, let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys hit like, subscribe, share this with friends who you think might benefit from it, and also hit that little bell button so you guys are getting notifications of when new content is coming out. And hope you guys enjoyed today's video, wherever you guys are watching it, whatever time and whatever year. We will catch you guys next time.
All right.
Fishing Paradox forever.